Sean here. I'm just going to give you a quick explanation, okay, on how to use the fibs, and everyone else, whoever wants to know how I use fibs. And the way that I use them is just to give me levels, okay? What levels of interest of this stock of it potentially reversing, okay? I know Lisette was talking to me about VBLT and how this performed. So let's just say I have this breaking out in the morning, okay? I'll just scoot this over. So this thing popping up, okay? This thing is popping up. I like to look at levels of interest, okay? So this thing is coming back down, coming back down. So let's just say you do take the short here, and you risk like the one. I think Jay was getting into this yesterday. Jay got into this. I was really interested in the stock. And what happened is that when it does come down and it makes a low, as soon as it makes a first low and starts to make a higher low, well then like right at this stage here, well I know that this is like the actual bottom, okay? So what I do is I take a fib, okay, in TOS, and I did a very crucial mistake yesterday, and I noticed this when I was talking to Lisette yesterday. There's a video out, a webinar of Curtis Cobain. He is a Forex / crypto Bitcoin trader. I do trade a bit of Forex as well, so this is where I met him. And he explains the fibs so, not so easily, but he brings it down to it just makes so much sense, you know. And what he explained in the video, and this is the mistake I did. Usually we take a fib to the high, okay, and I'll explain to you. It got to my mistake. So I'm just going to bring this down to the low right here. Okay, well, I'll bring my cursor down to here. Okay, boom. Okay. Now, the levels of my main interest will be, okay, is the golden zone, because this will act like a magnet, okay, this level here. Okay, I'm going to put that here. I'm not going to show the right side. I'm not going to show the open yet, okay, and I'm going to tell you how this plays out, okay. I look at this 38 line here, okay? This 38 line to me, sometimes I get caught, okay? Sometimes it does bounce into here. Okay, so I'm just going to explain to you very quickly on how this fib's going to work, okay? So if we're getting like a big down momentum here, okay? So if we're coming down, let's just say if we bounce off this was our low, boom. So we're coming back up into, so I want to see how it's going to react on this 38 line, okay? If this momentum is strong, okay, like on the downside, okay, it's want to go up, bounce into my 38 and come back down, okay? That's a very strong momentum. But normally what I like to see, okay, and I do this often, is that I try not to get involved in here. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, and if I do, I go very light, okay, very, very light. I wanted to go into this zone here, okay, this golden zone, and then potentially come back into our J lines, okay, and I don't want to see this bounce off the J lines, okay. I don't like seeing that. I want to see that crack the J lines and potentially go into this 200 moving average, okay. So that's exactly the setup I want to see, okay, on this ticker today. And the way that we evaluate for a gap in crap is like the deeper the pullback, okay, touching the J lines. I prefer like to see it crack the J lines and really touch, like be in this zone here, okay. So the deeper the pullback, the higher chance it's going to come and flip into this zone here and crash, okay. So that's what I'm potentially looking at. So I'm going to scoot this chart over. I'm going to see how this reacted, and I plotted this out wrong, okay. And I'm going to correct myself in this video, and I'll show you why, okay. Because the ticker did go to this 38 and then wash. But the real way to plot and it's so important to plot it out, your fibs, to the right levels. We are supposed to be putting the fib level to the highest body wick, okay? Like he's saying, don't get fooled on wicks. This wick is potentially not on play, so this wick is the potential play. And if I would have brought it to here, look where my fib went, okay? It went into my golden, well, it tapped into my golden zone. Okay, we're off like what, a couple of cents, but I'm just saying that if this would have been like this yesterday, would I have taken it? It would have gave me more of that, okay, let's go, let's get a feeler, we'll put in an order here at 140, because this was my main plan. And I didn't follow my trading plan yesterday because I did say I'm going to be nibbling at the 38, sizing into the golden zone here, cut it, and reattack the supply zone. Okay, this red zone up here. So that was my main, if I scoot this over here, yeah, scoot that in there. See, it did like come in. I wanted to go in more into this level here. So yesterday, this kind of like peeved me off. Not the fact that I missed the trade. I'm more upset that I did not anticipate my trading plan. Okay. So this was for VBLT. I know yesterday there was another ticker. I'm just gonna go spot it. It was a higher ticker. It wasn't taupe. What ticker? Give me a sec here. I'm gonna go into chat and see some guys traded. Taupe. Sorry. VBLT. That was there. VBLT. Most of the guys traded VBLT. There was another ticker that ran. Sorry about this delay. Give me a sec here. One little second. Yeah, BFRA. Sorry. BFRA. BFRA had a super setup too. Really good setup, which I really liked. But it was a bit out of my price range. But also, I was looking at VBLT with Jay and the gang. So again, really not complicating on how I get in on these levels. I'm going to remove everything here. Remove all drawing sets. Thank you. Okay, clean chart. All right. So in the morning, I'm going to do the process again with you guys. Okay. So this thing popped up, and it came down. So as it's coming down, what I wanted to do is to come down and literally touch the J lines. Okay, that's my play. Okay, boom, it touched the J line, so it starts making a. Let's just keep this here. Okay, I don't want to show the actual open because I want to put my fib levels. Okay. Now this is our high, and this is our pre-market low because it's making a higher low, higher. You know, it's going up higher. So I'm potentially going to take my fib levels, go to the wick of the highest body candle. Okay, and come down. We'll plot out here, and we come down to the bottom like here. Okay. So I'm just going to put out, and this is what I do every day. What I do is I'm going to put my golden zone here, okay? And this will be my potential breakout level, okay? When the price gets into this level, we're getting like the buyers that bought here are wanting to get out because they're selling potentially on this double top here. We have the short sellers jumping in, and we also have algos jumping in here too, okay? So, but if we do break the zone here, I'm putting my stop right above here. Okay, you can't let this thing run. You have to put your like a limit. Where are you going to put your stop? You know, you have to have a like a certain rule, and this is the rule. So what I would be potentially doing is that if I'm getting into my golden zone, this like I literally put a stop here. Boom, I put a risk level, and then same thing for here. Put a risk level here. Okay, we have to have risk levels. So I'm going to scoot the chart over. I'm going to see how this plays out. Okay, so we. Look at that. It went into the golden zone. And I'm going to show you two, like for the buyers, how are they going to play this, okay? And it's kind of neat how this works out. Okay, so if I want to know where the potential buyers, I'm going to clear the charts for you guys. And I'm going to show you, and it comes out pretty neat. Okay, so buyers are going to come. I'm going to go from the yesterday's close to the high, okay? Come on. I'm going to bring this to the high. Boom. As a buyer, okay, where are you going to potentially get back into? I'm going to plot this out right there. Okay? It's kind of funny that, let's just say the sellers are here, these guys here that bought here, we're taking profits up here, whatever. But then when it's coming back down, where is this thing going to potentially reverse? Okay? Yeah, the J lines. Yeah, you're right. Under the J lines come into the supply zone. So look at all these wicks. So these are orders being filled, you know. Boom, reclaim the J lines. You could like long this off the J lines, but you know, we have to be careful. Where are we going to long to, you know? And that's kind of something that we have to figure out. So we're going to go to the high here, come to the low here. Oh, look at this, back into our golden zone, okay? So if I was longing here, I would be potentially wanting to sell into this level here. If we do have momentum and breakout, well, this would have been the actual final target where I want to get out, sort of thing, bail, because this thing could reverse on me. Okay, you have to just be very careful. Okay, I know it's a lot of lines, but I'm not a buyer, so I'm more of a short seller. So I'm always keeping the other lines here. So I'm just pointing it out to you that the buyer stepped in here, and where do they want to buy into to like sell to? Well, potentially our golden zone here, and potentially this level here, because I can see the level of the volume was drying out. Okay, because these things are piggies, and this is what they do. Okay, so I'm going to clear the drawing set again for you. Okay, so very simple. So what I do is I'm going to take a fib level during pre-market, go to the highest point, and I'm going to bring it down to the lowest point. Okay, so as a short seller, okay, I'll be looking at this level here of interest. Okay, as soon as this pops like over this 38 zone, this level here, this is where I'm looking for locates, and I'm really paying attention to tape. I'm really paying attention to the volume, and I'm looking into scaling into this level here. Okay, I really love scaling into this level here, and keep a very, very, very tight stop. Okay, and just paying attention to volume. We had a lot of volume. We're almost out of 1 million. Like these are all like 800, 800. We had maybe 500, 500, and another 900,000 here on this candle here. So to be very careful. So if you want to be very, very picky on this, you know, you draw your trend. We say our trends are friends. So as soon as it cracks a trend, retest the trend down. So basically, this is a nice setup for that. If we do break this golden zone here, and this is the next level we're going to want to short into and keep a tight stop. And you keep a nice tight stop up here, okay? And if it does break out, leave it alone because it's a gap extension, okay? So that explains on how to calculate basically my fibs. And there's also there's other ways like to people calculate the percentage-wise or from yesterday's close to up here. There's so many other ways, but I found this way here. It just, you know, it's not a bulletproof. I'm not saying, hey, everyone, load your boat in the golden zone. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is my level of interest. Look at what's happening in this level, and look what's happening at this level. If we break it, leave it alone. Put your stop, and that's how we have to manage our risk. We just can't have this thing running on us and like, hey, you know, the fibs are saying we should short here, we should short there, and no, we can't. We have to have rules, we have to have regulations, okay? And also on the bottom side, we'll look where this price goes to, minus 27 to the dot, and it went down to this minus 61 here, boom, almost at the end of the day here. So this is also another technique I like to scale out. Well, I like to scale out on the 200 here. If I'm getting a nice average up here, I like to trim some off the J lines. I should be trimming off less, but I've been trimming out like half my trade here, aiming for here a third, and then aim for this like minus 1,000 right here. Okay, this would be like my final target on this. So, but I've been looking, as soon as I could plot these fibs out, I've been noticing this minus 27 and this minus 61 has been hitting as well, which is kind of cool. You know, so I like a double confirmation if you want, to the downside. And that's how I really calculate the fibs during the open. There's another thing I wanted to say. Well, if you want to like try to catch the top, and this is something I've been doing a bit of back testing with Jay as well, is that we've been looking at like the extension when we do like pierce like pre-market high here. I have been looking at some levels of interest, which is the minus 27, like to the opposite side. This minus 27 here, I'll just flip the fibs around, and it should give you like a good point of rejection and turnaround at these points. And when it does like touch this, either it does not respect this minus 27, like to the upside, and when it does come to it's like very violent, like it'll like really ricochet off it. And I'll just want to give you a couple of examples. Where are you? Documents. Stock tracking, fibs, gap extensions, okay? So I've got a couple here, and I have a couple more that I didn't put into my play here. Let's just say ease. This one here, it actually did go to the minus 27, okay? But it also went to my minus, like you saw here. So it went to the minus 27, rejected, boom, down. But then as I saw, it was curling down and then coming back up. We just have to be careful, okay? Here, once you have to put your stop. I'm not just saying load the boat at minus 27 and like just say Hail Mary sort of thing. You have to take the trade, put your stop right above, and then when it comes back down, it's like trading the J lines at the open. Okay, like if our J lines is really underneath here, we like to take the first pop rejection into the J lines, and you have to put your stop break even. Okay, in case it does not work. Like here, this is a beautiful setup. So we crack the J lines for the late day fade setup. Take the J lines here, boom, short, put your stop right above, or put your stop really break even. So if this comes down, bounces off VWAP, well, you have to put your stop break even, or you can, it's up to you. You can put your stop out on the J lines here. I always like to break even on a late day fade setup. That's another setup, okay? So this is here's a wick, boom, you could have shorted here, put your stop right here above, and let this thing unwind. I do have another play here. I can show you right here. So and the way I calculate this is I take the yesterday's closing price, okay, here at the close, and you just bring your fib right up to the first major structure. Okay, so and then your minus 27 will all automatically plot it out here for you. Okay, so what I do is I do that, boom, and at this minus 27, I'm just looking at tape. I'm looking for a pattern. I'm looking for a wick. I'm looking for, look, we have a trend, crack, we could have got in here, VWAP, boom, and take this down to the 1,000. And I have a couple of examples. I have a couple here, let's say Fran. It's kind of neat. So what I do is that, again, you plot your fib from yesterday close, come up to your major first. Well, you could, let's just say if I would have plotted it here. Well, that minus 27 was here. Well, they didn't reject it. Like it rejected, curled up and over. So it wasn't valid, okay? So I just brought my fib, brought it up to the next level, brought it up to this level here, and just waited and see what my minus 27 did. As you can see, it wicked over, boom, and it's very violent when it gets to this level, okay? And then, like, where did it go to? I'll show you the next one here. IBIO, again, minus 27. Again, so the low here, of course, well, this was like yesterday's close. This part of this level here, just bring that up to your first major structure, and just look for that minus 27. Look for that minus 27. I actually traded this. I think I traded it with Jay as well. And it's very violent. I'm telling you, once it gets to this level here, it could be not valid and pierce over and like break out and go to $100. We don't know. So what I'm doing is I'm just waiting for this level, rejection. If I see tape going violently red, a lot of like the asks stacking, like big numbers, I'm jumping in and put your stop right above, right above. Like don't say, hey, Sean told me to short the minus one. No, we have to manage our position. If you want to short it, put your stop right above. It's just like taking the J lines, If you're taking your first J line rejection here before, you have to put your stop right even. Like I didn't take it. This is like my profit taking. But if you are shorting the J lines like here, okay, you have to put your stop break even. Don't risk much. Like don't say, hey, I'm going to short the J lines and put my stop at 20 cents because it's going to come. No, that's not the proper way to trade. Take your entry, put your stop a few cents over, okay? Because if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. Look, it didn't work here. It came down, curled, broke through the J lines again, and just ripped. Okay, so if you didn't have your stop here on the J lines or break even, you're screwed, basically. Okay, so we have to manage. That's why sometimes I would get faked out. Let's say if I would have took a short here, I would have cut it. I would have cut this. I would have cut this trade. I try to risk small, reattack, red, reattack, put your stop, break even. And I find risking. I know, yes, I have more entries, more fees, but I have not as a big red day. Like if I didn't short here, I put my stop up here and have this thing up against me. You know what I mean? So that's something I learned also with Jay. Like keep a tight risk. He would rather me get stopped out and reattack than just like take your entry and just, say, hey, I'm going to risk 20, 30 cents on this. And this thing never come back, and be in profit sort of thing. So that's what I'm just getting to for these I just have over miles, and it's just it's kind of too bad. The other day, I think there was a trade. I forget what trade it is. Jay was saying, "Hey, Sean, said this levels are minus 20. Let's all jump in." And I think he did take the trade, and I think he lost like $100 on it, and I kind of felt bad because it didn't work. So like again, if you're shorting the J lines here, you have to put your stop rate above. If you're shorting the J lines here, you have to put your stop rate above. So if you are shorting the minus 27 here, and it's very violent. Look at this, boom. And anyways, this is something I've been noticing and tracking. So if you have any other questions, L, hook me up. If anyone else has any questions on the fib retracement, I'll actually put my fib retracement settings here. It's nothing special. You just have to activate it in your fib settings. I know Jay doesn't look at like the 32, the 15, and 61. I think he really focuses like on the 61 to 78 level, and also like this 88. I think this is like really the zone that he's loading into. Okay. I'll give you the fibs here. You double click on the fibs, and it's right here. Okay, I'll just pause. If you want to screenshot it or snapshot it, and I color these. So this is my golden zone. This is my supply zone. And this is also the potential buying zone at the bottom of the fib. Okay, so there's my fib settings, and I didn't change any really numbers. You know, it comes like this. Okay, there's no secret sauce here. So that's about it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, you can hook me up, DM me. I'm always available. You know, I'm a chat room junkie. I'm always here. If I'm not here, I'm probably just watching a video or catching up on my latest trades, okay? Have a good one. Hope you enjoyed it.